what is the best way to stop myself from sabotaging relationships from my own insecurities? It creates so many little issues that it slowly unravels things. I know that it's as simple as just stop, but having some methods to lean on and use to help build me up would help.
I think I think everyone has tackled this before. I think everyone on this fucking planet has had to deal with insecurities getting in the way, either if it's your relationship or work or whatever it is. You have pre-programmed shit from your childhood or whatever that is buried in your subconscious that gets in the way of you achieving what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Now, as far as relationships go, I think what you need to do is obviously take a very long, prolonged period of time to work on yourself. Yeah. Be alone.
Self-reflect. That's what I'm seeing out of this.
Yeah. It's okay to be alone. I have been single for damn near a fucking year. You know, my last relationship ended in June.
Yeah.
I have not talked to anybody. I haven't dated. I've worked on myself. I've worked on my business. I've been a fucking awesome dad.
Yeah.
And I don't really give a shit about a relationship right now.
Right.
You know, but in that year that I've just been really working on myself, self-reflecting, finding my own insecurities and kind of things that are getting in the way of me achieving what I want, I've been able to address them, figure out ways to eliminate them, and continue moving forward.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know if this person is jumping from relationship to relationship.
Yeah.
But they probably are, because that's the new thing to do. You know what I mean? You fucking break up with one person and then you're on to the next one. And it's like, well, this one didn't work for a reason. And it's because both parties, it probably just wasn't one person. You both had something to do with it. But instead, usually they just blame it on the other fucking person instead of doing some self-reflecting, like you said. And they jump to the other one, and then that one fucking ends.
Yeah.
And they can't figure out why they can't keep a healthy relationship. It's because you got your own shit you need to address, and you haven't fucking done it yet.
Yeah, and I mean, sabotaging relationships from their own insecurities. So it's like they know that they have certain insecurities that they deal with. So I think the reason that self-reflection is so important here is to identify what triggers them and when it's actually happening, whether it's jealousy, whether it's anger, or whether it's, I mean, typically the insecurities are jealousy or like feelings of not being worth.
They kind of play hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in relationships like that before. It's typically the other party that doesn't feel as if they're good enough or feels as if, you know.
You think it's a confidence thing?
I think a lot of it is, and a lot of it is the, it also has to do with the dynamic of the person that you're with.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're the person with these insecurities and you are with somebody who is outgoing in the public eye, very loud, very confident in themselves, I hate to say it, but you probably need to step back and reflect yourself and make sure your own foundation is strong.
Yeah.
Because that kind of person is not toxic in any way. They're doing what they do.
Yeah.
But that's gonna affect you, you know, and I can say that from my perspective because I am that kind of person that's really loud and outgoing.
Yeah.
And you know, trying to make things work with somebody in any relationship who doesn't feel that great about themselves, it's only making things worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they have to have, I mean, even if the other person you're dating is not like that, you have to have a certain level of confidence in yourself.
Exactly.
But also, you need to realize with 100% confidence that it's okay to be alone, that you can be alone, and that your life's completely fucking fine that way.
Yeah.
You know, people are terrified of that, dude. Why is that?
I think we could go into the whole like,
fuck it, let's go into it.
So the books that I always refer to, the Rollo Tomasi Rational Male books.
That's a good one.
The series there, and then like Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper. A lot of those books really kind of go into the way that we have been conditioned over the past 70 years or so.
Yeah.
You know, birth control was invented in the 50s and 60s. And since then, the whole dynamic order of what relationships, life, and love should be has shifted, right? Because we're in a feminine, positive society.
Well, that in fucking Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood has created this like fantasy world, right?
Yeah, they drove that. And so like we're growing up being convinced by Disney movies, by culture, that you've got to be with somebody and create that happily ever after and have the white picket fence. And that's not necessarily what has to happen to achieve happiness, right? Like because when you don't get that, you think that you're a fucking failure, and that it fucks with you, right?
You know, it's like, well, I failed because I don't have this idea of the perfect relationship. That perfect relationship idea was programmed into your fucking head. It's not, that might not be what you actually want or what you need. It's just what you think.
Yeah. And as much as I want, like, I don't want to come off as like negative saying this or like a hater, because the family dynamic works for a lot of people.
Right.
It's amazing. My family's incredible. You
Yeah.
know, my parents are amazing. But people need to stop focusing so much on getting that family and that relationship and be more purpose driven. And I think that the right kind of relationships are going to come into their life.
So I agree with that. And I can tackle this from the completely opposite end of you, because I have a daughter.
Right.
I've tried the family thing.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted it more than anything. I always have, man. I've wanted a kid since I was a kid myself.
I think there's a difference between wanting to have children and
the family. Right. Well, that's so on a personal level. So, you know, I had a kid, me and her mom were together. That ended. And I felt like a fucking failure. Going back to what I just said a few minutes ago, I felt like a failure because the family fell apart.
Right.
And that was, and no matter what, I take responsibility for almost everything. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is my fucking fault. And then I go into another relationship about 6 months to a year later. And with this one, dude, I am 100% confident. This is it. I got the fucking family. It's here.
Yeah.
And then when that ended, my whole world fucking fell apart because that blueprint, the blueprint that was
blueprint's bullshit.
Right. But because I believed in it so much.
Right.
It took me like a fucking year, 6 months or whatever, to kind of come back to reality and be like, hey, you don't need that. Like, I have a 4-bedroom house and it's me and my little girl. I have my little girl. Nothing else fucking matters. I don't need anybody else. Like, I'm perfectly happy. I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life. And once again, I haven't been in a relationship in over a year.
Yeah.
And that's not me just being in denial. Like, I legitimately, my life is perfect, dude. You know, but if you would have asked me that 6 months ago, I would have thought that was missing something.
Right.
And that's the whole idea behind spending time alone and making sure that you realize that you can be on your own and everything is okay.
Yep.
And that way, when you get into another relationship, for one, they can't fucking hold anything over your head. You know, like that insecurity that he's probably facing right now, and all of us for that matter at one point in our life, that insecurity is like, well, if they leave me, I'm going to be alone. Let them fucking leave.
So what? I mean,
you know, if they fucking leave, then fuck them. It doesn't matter.
Well, in reference to a relationship too, what does insecurity mean? It means you're being a victim of past trauma.
Yeah.
You have experienced something from a previous relationship that has made you constantly worried about something in the current relationship.
And that could have been something that you observed as a kid. It could be something that, you know, you observed in your past relationship that you experienced firsthand. And that has played over. And until you really address that and let it do its thing, whatever the fuck that means, you know, let it run its course and realize that pretty much get rid of it.
Yeah.
Now, how you get rid of it, you just have to come to terms with it.
And also stop focusing on it. Like, stop focusing on getting with somebody. Like,
that's what I mean. Like, spend time alone.
Rich Cooper always says, chase excellence, not women, or chase excellence, not another person, you know?
So this is something that I've really observed for myself during this whole year of whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm leveling up as a person.
Right.
I mean, dude, I am so much fucking better of a person than I was a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago or whatever. And that means that the quality of people that I'm attracting into my life, not just in a romantic relationship, but even friends and stuff like that, I'm attracting better quality people because I myself am a better person.
Right.
So instead of chasing after that next relationship or even giving a fuck about it, work on yourself. Spend that time alone and look at it as a blessing to really just focus on your own shit. Become a better person. Do the activities that you've always wanted to do. Travel, read. Start a new business, make a bunch of fucking money, like level up as a person. And then that way you're attracting a better person than your previous relationship anyways. You know, that was kind of the clicking point for me. I was like, looking back on how I was even 6 months ago, I was like, there's no way I would date someone that I would have dated a year ago.
Right. You're a totally different person.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're not going to be attracted to you anyways, because they're attracted to maybe someone not to the same standard. You know what I mean?
Yep. And another piece of advice for those listening about relationships, and then we'll move on. If you've just gotten out of a relationship with somebody and you've taken that trash out to the curb, don't go back and digging through it.
You can't.
The neighbors don't like seeing it, and it's just going to get shit everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't want to go. You don't need to go
for
back.
A reason.
Don't go back in time, guys. Look, if you've made the decision, if something's happened, stop chasing after past situations. That person's not real, right?
Yeah, it's a fantasy.
It's a fiction or a figment of your imagination. The only reason I say this is I've struggled with it
We all
pretty
have, dude.
hard.
Yeah, for sure. You get this whole idea built in your head of what this person is.
I mean, because I can use some relationships that you've been my friend for a few years now. Like I'll say this, that, and the other. Like I'll have certain feelings of, negativity towards the significant other. And then after the fact, it's like, well, but man, they're just this or that.
You forget about all the bad shit, dude. You fucking forget about it.
It's insane because you were going through a similar thing about a year ago.
Man, I could not let it go.
Yeah.
She was on this fucking pedestal and I was just like, I couldn't knock the bitch off.
Well, because I remember you and I talked about it because we were going through something very similar at the same time.
Yeah, the exact same time.
And for some reason last year I was able to flush it. And, and then it goes in waves. But anyway, next question.
Hopefully we helped you with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going into our own self-therapy here.
I think people like to hear it though.
Yeah.
Because they don't see that. Me and you both, we don't put our bullshit on the internet.
Yeah, there's no point.
So there's probably this bullshit idea that we live this fucking fantasy life and that we don't have issues of our own.
Yeah.
Oh, we have fucking issues. Yeah. And we have relationship issues. We have business issues. We have personal issues. We have all the same fucking issues that you guys have as well.
Exactly.
So my answer... Stay single.
Yeah, just focus on yourself.
Just focus on yourself 100%.
Yeah. Until focusing on yourself does not mean fucking World of Warcraft. All right? Improve your shit. Anyway.
The real you. Yeah. The real you. Work on the real you.